in this video, I'm going to be showing you my at-home painting setup. And let me start this out by saying I am definitely not a pro. I just kind of started this, but I've done a lot of research and looking into things, and so far it's been going pretty well. This is my van. I've primered a few things, but anyways, let's go ahead and get started. First off, we'll start out with an air compressor, and this one is just a really quiet one from Harbor Freight, and it's fairly quiet. Definitely don't have an issue running this one late at night. My neighbors are pretty far away, but so fairly quiet. It's not like perfect, but a lot better than my old one, and it's 4.5 SCFM, which is really probably not a lot for painting. So what I did is went ahead and hooked up a little pancake compressor as well, and it's just a little helper guy right there, and I have it on an extension cord plugged in over there. I think they're on different circuits, and I've been running them both at the same time, and they haven't blown a breaker. But I'm not 100% sure if they're on separate ones or not, but so far so good. And I just have it kind of daisy chained from here over to there. And when you plug one of these in, it doesn't have like a valve, so air will just be rushing out if there's a lot of air in there. There's probably a better way to do that, like put an inline ball valve in here or something, but I just didn't have time at the moment. And I just have both of these regulators set, around 120, not exact, but just so they can kind of match each other. And this one is 2.6 SCFM, and this is at 90 PSI. When you're painting, it's a lot lower, like 30 or 40, which the SCFM will be a lot higher. And this one's a 4.5, so that's like close to 7 or 8. And at a lower PSI, it's like maybe, I don't know, like 8 to like 10 or something like that. I don't know the exact specs off the top of my head. But anyways, we'll go from here, and I just have a regular air hose, and it goes across here, and then I have a bucket, and I think all the ice is gone, but I will put ice water in here basically, and it's coiled up a few times. And the reason I'm doing this is all of that hot air coming off the compressor, because this thing gets pretty freaking hot, and any moisture will basically be vaporized, so we want to condense that down. And also another quick thing, I do live in Colorado and it's super dry here. However, we do still get some moisture in the compressor, but I couldn't imagine being like in a very humid place where you get like tons and tons of water. But it's not been too bad, but we definitely get some water in there, especially on hot days or after it rains. Moisture that's just vaporized in the air, and it cools it down and basically turns it into water droplets, which is actually what you would want, because then it comes out of there and then it goes into here, my little makeshift air system for painting. It just plugs right in, and I have a ball valve. We'll open that up, and then first thing, it goes into a regulator. And then that way I have 120 PSI coming in here, and then you can adjust the pressure to wherever you want. It depends on the gun or device you're using. And then coming out of the regulator, it has a liquid to air separator. And so that's why I want it to condense all of the moisture in the air as much as possible into actual water droplets, so it can get caught in here. And it's got a little drain, and when it loses pressure, it opens automatically to drain water out. And coming out of here, I just have like a little T fitting, and honestly, I just really needed an L fitting, but I just could find a T fitting at the time, so I just put a connection. I don't really plan on using that, but I guess you could if you wanted to. But then it comes out of there and then goes upwards to a desiccant filtration system, and these are little silica beads, and normally they are blue, and I think they like turn yellow or something once they're completely saturated, and they're starting to turn purple. Normally they're blue. I have a whole thing of them right here, so I probably need to change them out, and they're pretty easy to do. You definitely want to depressurize the system, and it just opens up and you can pour them out. But any extra moisture left in the air should get filtered out right here. And then it goes to a hose, and then around here to this fitting. And pretty much everything after, I have these little high flow fittings right here, so they can flow a lot more air, because the fittings are actually the bottleneck. I mean, it depends on what size air hose, but they remain, still 1/4 inch for the fittings, but they just have a larger opening. And this goes to my painting air hose, which I just used for painting only. And I think this one is only like 20 feet, 25 foot. I can't actually remember. I could have got a longer one. This one is a little bit short for the van, so I kind of have to move this thing around. Oh, also, by the way, this is just a moving dolly, and I have a 20-pound weight. And then I have cardboard on here so I can kind of spray the gun if I need to check the spray pattern. See this nice little football out of my HVLP gun. Pretty much then this goes to whatever gun I'm using. And this is my DeWalt HVLP gun right here. So far, I really like this thing. I totally would have got the Eastwood Contour kit. It comes with a detail gun and a regular one, but I just didn't have the money at the time. This one so far seems really nice. It's definitely easy to take apart and clean, which is very important. It has a pretty big stainless steel drum. And then over here is my Raptor liner gun. Always want to clean it as soon as you can. And it's kind of apart right now. See, it's got those high flow fittings with the huge opening. And those are aluminum, so you kind of have to be careful with them. They scratch and mar up really easily. And we can go ahead and attach this. It's hard to do with one hand. I like these fittings because you can just push them in like that. And then basically, as far as air goes, we're ready to paint. And so you definitely want to read your instructions, but this gun has a maximum of 30 PSI. And the way you want to test your pressure is you want to go off of when you're holding the trigger down. So if you hold the trigger down, you can see it's going a little bit below 30, so we could bump it up a little bit if we need to. And that's fairly accurate doing it that way, but not exactly, because it's got to go through all of this. So what I've been doing is just keeping it exactly at 30 with the trigger down. And I actually have a little pressure gauge that I still need to build that goes in line right here. And so that way you can hook up the pressure gauge right before the gun and then go off of that, because that's going to be a lot more accurate. So you're not factoring in all of this stuff right here. But I still need to do that. But this gun also has a minimum pressure of 15. So I'm just keeping it, right at 30. And if it's a little lower, that's fine for now. But anyways, this is an Eastwood paint gun stand. I really like this thing. It just sets it right there, perfectly level and everything. And it's got this thing on top to hold the filters as you pour the paint in. It's nice and clean in there, but I love this thing. You can just move it over, throw a filter in, pour your paint in, and just let it drain down. And then of course I got, just some tools, to open paint cans right here, and a little brush that the DeWalt gun came with, and then a little hammer to hammer down the lids, and this multi-tool for the paint gun came with it as well. It's definitely handy to take this off and some other things. Also, you're definitely going to want some mixing cups if you're doing some automotive two-part urethane paints. And these have all your ratios, easy to measure up just right. And I got some paint sticks and everything. And I also have a drill attachment right here. I'll use this for the big gallon paint drums. The one thing you want to be very careful of is when you mix up your gallon of paint, and then you put it in here to mix it with the hardener. And if you do use this to mix up the hardener with the paint, don't stick it back in the gallon drum to mix it up again, or else you're going to be putting hardener in your big gallon, which would be probably not the best thing ever. Also, for cleanup, I get these 300 lint-free rags. I get these from Walmart. You get 300 of them for $10, so you don't have to feel bad about just using tons and tons of them, which you will have to do when you're painting. And then I have a little gun cleaning kit. I don't know if this is really necessary, but those little tiny brushes have actually been coming in handy because it really sucks cleaning your equipment. It's definitely my least favorite part of painting, but it is super necessary if you want to keep your, nice fancy equipment in good working order. And then I have just some 3M high power spray gun cleaner. That's really good. I also have some brake cleaner because this thing has been such a pain to clean. Like, it just takes so much. So I'll just clean it up with brake cleaner, get as much paint out of it as I can, and just finish it off with the gun cleaner. I don't think it really matters because this stuff is non-chlorinated and supposedly it dries without any residue. But I just finished it off with this to be sure. And also I got this thing, which is come in handy quite a bit. And this is the Pot Life because I just painted my rooftop box lid. It's out there with Raptor liner. And so the Pot Life was 1 hour. It's long gone. But I kind of just have it labeled flash, top coat, and then pot. And you can use the different timers, for different things. So that way you can keep track of everything. Like if you're past the Pot Life, you don't want to spray that on anything or it could cause problems. And then when you're ready for your next coat, stuff like that. And if it's like an hour or so before you can do the top coat, pretty handy. And then guys, as far as safety goes, I have some gloves, definitely want that. And then I have a full face respirator. You can tell, especially with the Raptor liner, that this is definitely something you want because that stuff just kind of goes everywhere. And there's actually a lens cover on here, so I can peel that off, and I got some new ones to stick on here because these are not exactly super cheap. Definitely not something you would want to just toss and buy a new one all the time. Obviously, you have to get new filters every so often. But yeah, that's nice not to have all that on my skin, especially my face. And then especially with Raptor liner, I got this paint suit with the hood that goes around the mask. Works really well. I just put some tape around it to kind of keep it from getting in the paint job that I'm doing. Well guys, that pretty much concludes my at-home painting setup, not including all the stuff that goes into prep work, which is probably 80% of actually painting. But anyways, guys, I hope you found this video useful. Let me know what you would use down in the comments below, or if you have anything to add. Definitely would like to hear from you. But guys, keep safe, and I will talk to you next time. Peace out.